Hello everyone, my name is Puddy, and we just sat through the longest ROH show in history, and we are here to talk about it. I am joined, as always, this weekend by Tucker Davidson from Silly Tuck. How are you feeling? You probably are a little less tired than me.
Yeah, I'm not as tired. Not as tired as you, but no, that was definitely an exhausting program to sit through, I'll say.
Part of me thinks it was worse than I thought, and part of me thinks it was better than I thought. I'm very confused.
For me, I would say I would agree with that, because a lot of it was really awful, but a lot of it kind of entered so awful that I'm really enjoying myself watching this kind of territory.
See, I definitely never hit a peak of that like I did last night in the main event at the NXT show. That was like
glorious.
peak of so bad it's good. Like that was... I don't think I'm ever going to find a match at that level, perhaps ever again, unless Big Dave versus Trips on the week, tonight, really, really gets it. But I know you're not as optimistic as me on that one.
They get their impromptu Hell in a Cell for no reason.
Oh, Teddy Long announces it? Shawn Michaels guest referee?
Yes!
No, The Undertaker guest referee.
Oh no, Ric Flair, special guest referee. Swerve, Flair was in on it from the start.
Yes! And then Randy Orton comes out after beating up AJ Styles. So we have an Evolution reunion. Oh.
Or even better, Ric Flair and Batista versus Randy Orton and Triple H at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Extreme Rules?
Something like that.
Whatever
so,
that
back to this show. I watched the Rumble. Did you watch the Rumble?
I did. I didn't rate it.
I didn't rate it either. It's just too hard to track.
Yeah.
I only ever rate those big multi-man matches when, like, the WWE Royal Rumble's really good, because it starts the year, and I'm like, well, I should rate it, because someone in there is going to have it on their resume at the end of the year as something they did really well. But most years I don't do that. I have rated Elimination Chambers recently because I've liked some of them. But I didn't rate this Rumble. But I thought it was really good. I mean, I'm a mark for these type of things, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. It's 3 hours later, and I still can't remember whether it was over the top or pinfall elimination. Maybe you can remind me.
It was over the top.
Okay. And yeah, I think Jushin Thunder Liger should have won. What was the reward? It was an ROH title match, right?
Yes.
And wasn't it... Who won again? Was it Kenny King?
Kenny King.
Yeah.
He came in at 1, and he wasn't there for the majority of the match, and then all of a sudden he was there at the end, so I assume he hid under the ring or something, like the whole match.
Probably.
That would make sense for, like, ROH.
Yeah, it would. So, we opened the show with one of the 3 matches I kind of bookmarked to Tucker as, this could be really good. It was Jeff Cobb and Will Ospreay. And it was alright. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same book. It was alright. A lot of fun stuff from Ospreay. Cobb, his strength meshes, like, perfectly with Ospreay's ability to just throw himself around like a human spring / ragdoll. Maybe a ragdoll with springs loaded in. The Tour of the Islands from the top rope was awesome, and then hitting it again was awesome. Like, I don't know why, but I just liked him picking him up and doing it again for no reason.
For no reason, yeah. A theme we saw a lot throughout the night.
Just hitting tons of finishes for no reason.
Yeah, without even, like, near falls. Just like, you know what?
No.
Fuck it, let's do a second one.
I'm gonna do 2, even though I never tried just doing 1.
Yeah. I thought that Will's had better. And Cobb's had better, and I think, unless my memory is failing me, I'm pretty sure they've had better together. This could have done with being better, I think, because it was, openers on cards like this or is a pretty good spot to be in. And I think they could have done with just blowing it out of the water, having a match of the night kind of candidate, because I do think that there's an opportunity for that on an opening match of this kind of card.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm a little disappointed with this one, but it was still okay. It was easy watching, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing. If you were going to watch the whole card anyways, then you will be seeing it. But probably don't go out of your way to see it. It's nothing overly special. Maybe look up a GIF of the Tour of the Islands from the top rope, and that's about it.
Okay, so with that positivity out of the way, I think I want to run down the trash of this card next. So in order,
are we doing ratings? Are we sharing
If
ratings?
you want to, I'm not going to bother with this card because I was tired, and these might change with rewatches and stuff. But if you want to, you feel free.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah.
I gave this a 2.75, so slightly above average. And I would kind of obviously stick there because that is indeed what I stuck with.
Yeah, very fast work. Definitely a reasonable rating. So yeah, I want to run down the trash of the card. So in order, we're gonna talk about Castle Rush, then the Bully Ray. I'm gonna tell you what my notes are on these matches as well. I listed this match as Castle Rush, then I listed the match next as Bully Ray Clusterfuck. Then we've got the ladder match. So we're going to talk about those three first of all, which I consider to be the absolute trash of the card. Although Tucker disagrees, which will be interesting. So we'll save that for last.
Yes.
So Castle Rush, you probably have more thoughts on it than I do.
Yeah. Do you want me to just say what the match was? Because I'm pretty sure. If I'm not wrong, Putty seems to think that a commentator at some point had said that it was a lot longer than I thought it was. But in my head, this match was literally the bell rang, Dalton was in the corner, and Rush just literally hit his corner dropkick and pinned him.
30 seconds is what I hear. So,
Do you have that as a number somewhere? Or is that just
That's what I heard. All right.
Who have you heard it from?
I have my sources. I'll go to the papers if I have to.
Kevin Kelly.
I'll go to the papers if I have to.
Oh, no.
So, you liked the angle afterwards, though, I hear.
Oh, I don't think liked the angle is a proper statement. I rated it a little bit higher than I would have otherwise because it fed into an angle. It had a purpose. It wasn't just a squash match for a squash match.
Okay. And that purpose was enjoyable or unenjoyable, or were you in the middle?
Neutral. I'm very much neutral on Dalton Castle turning heel and beating up his manservants. Listen, a man is allowed to do what he wants with his manservants. That's not my place to tell him no, so I will respect him and say I am neutral towards that stance.
What I will say is that when I saw that angle, I thought that maybe, just maybe, taking the one thing that was interesting about that character away from him might be a misplay, but I'm not a booker, so I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think much about, hey, moving forward, that takes away, a really interesting element about this character, and he'll probably stop doing the thing where he, comes out dressed as, a peacock or whatever, and that's kind of everything that makes him interesting as both a character and a wrestler. I kind of just thought of the here and now, hey, they've been building for that for a little while, or so I'm told. I'm not watching Ring of Honor weekly.
You're not?
I'm shockingly not.
Oh my god.
I will occasionally watch events just to gawk at them continuing to build to a certain somebody winning.
The first Ring of Honor match, the show that I've seen in maybe over a year.
Yeah, that'd be about right, wouldn't it be? But yeah, no, I didn't really think about moving forward what this does with this character. But no, he's definitely going to just be a guy who beats people up now, isn't he?
So next we're going to talk about what I've said in my notes is the Bully Ray clusterfuck. Do you want to explain what was going on here? Because I actually I think I had an aneurysm.
Don't worry, everybody did. So,
okay,
building to this show, Bully Ray on ROH TV. Somehow, I know this segment, even though I don't watch ROH TV. I think I saw it on Twitter. No, somebody told me about
Did
it.
he scream at someone, "Give me what I want"?
Basically,
you know what I want.
He said, "Give me what I want. You know what I want. I want a match at the Garden with anybody, but you know who you are, and it will be a street fight." And he looked dead in the camera and he said, "Show up if you feel like it, punk."
Also, I think you're skipping over the most important part of this segment, which was the nerdcore rap, I believe it was referred to as before.
Oh my god. So, Mega Ram? I don't know his name, but he did the song for the pay-per-view. Don't listen to it, preferably.
We're going to the Garden.
He seems like a very capable artist and rapper.
Does he?
But he's capable of saying words that rime, so I think that makes you a capable rapper.
Or poet.
Or poet, whichever one you feel like being. But he comes out, and he starts singing for no reason. The crowd just started booing the shit out of him. I was very proud about that, like, not giving it up for the random guest artist, because, you know,
I have to say, I think the crowd were good people tonight. Most of them probably weren't ROH guys.
Yeah, they were very much good people. I approved of them booing the shit out of Mega Ran. Bully Ray comes out to interrupt it. He gets a really big pop because he pushes over Mega Ran and runs him out of the ring. Bully Ray, who's supposed to be like the mega heel of the company. He's literally Baron Corbin. He shows up to get heat and then leaves. So he was supposed to fight Juice Robinson because Juice Robinson replied on, I think, a Twitter video also where he was like, "I'll fight Bully Ray." And so before the match even starts, Juice Robinson goes out on the stage and gets attacked by, I didn't see it, but the people I was watching with said it was Minoru Suzuki, like, grabbed him and just took him backstage for some reason.
What?
I don't know if that's true, because it was never followed up on. But anyways, Bully Ray's in the ring, and he's waiting for somebody, and it's Flip Gordon. He's back from being injured again, even though he was only injured, like, a month ago, so was it a fake injury? I don't know. Why would they fake an injury just to bring him back?
I think he fell off the curvature of the earth, because he didn't think it existed.
Oh, right, my bad. Yeah. He swam his way back.
Yeah, he came back from those ice caps that exist around, you know, the border of the flat Earth.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I totally...
Also, there was a stable called Lifeblood.
Oh, God, I get to, like, run down all this fun stuff I know that's been going on. So, Juice Robinson, Mark Haskins, Bandito, Tennille Dashwood, Tracy Williams.
Tennille Dashwood?
Yes.
Bandito is in this stable?
They are the lifeblood of Ring of Honor, and they're going to make the ring honorable again. And that is their entire faction idea. Basically, they exist to fight Bully Ray. So anyways, Flip Gordon comes out, and Bully Ray and him start fighting, and then, like, a parallel universe version of Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley being Baron Corbin's goons, Shane Taylor and Silas Young rush the ring, and they start to 3-on-1 beat down Flip Gordon.
But then we get the parallel universe version of The Shield,
in which Juice Robinson, now completely fine apparently, with Mark Haskins, just shows up on the stage and is like, "Alright."
Yeah, he didn't seem like the comments were putting over really hard. That it was like, oh, the New York State Athletic Commission won't let him compete. He's fine. He's fine.
Yep, he came to the ring with, like, a shopping cart full of weapons, like New Jack, and he just,
but they were really shit weapons, though. Like, this was a shit hardcore match.
It was like, the wooden pallet he brought out was already broken. Anyways, Juice Robinson appears on the stage, and he says, "It's gonna be a 6-man tag team match, holla playa, holla." And then him and Mark Haskins walk to the ring for the 6-man tag match, holla playa, holla. And then it happened. It
was trash.
It's one of the worst street fights I've seen in a long time. And, like, it's crazy considering that street fights are typically crutches for workers that, you know, can't do much else.
Sometimes with actual crutches.
Yeah. But this just kind of happened. Flip Gordon pretended to be Tommy Dreamer and just took a whole bunch of kendo stick shots to the back, like, willingly. And then, like, I don't remember who won. I think Juice won.
Yeah, no, Lifeblood won.
Lifeblood with Flip Gordon, not officially part of Lifeblood Flip Gordon.
Oh, who cares? Who knows? Are you certain Flip Gordon is not a part of Lifeblood? Can you say with 100% certainty?
I don't know.
I think I'm a part of Lifeblood. I know I was a part of Aces and Eights in the turn of the decade.
I don't know if Flip Gordon could tell you if he was part of Lifeblood or not. But they wrestled, and it was not very good.
You know what the saddest thing is about this match? Is, in my opinion, it was the third worst match on the card.
For me, it was the second worst.
So moving along to
Granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, the one that you actually liked.
I loved this match.
The ladder match. So go on.
The ladder match.
You definitely look. So I'm gonna admit my bias on the table here. I didn't go into this match with the most positive of attitudes because I thought it was the main event, and immediately before the match, it was announced that it just so happened to be the first of two main events. And I literally went and took a dump because I was like pretty much done at that point with this card. So when I got back, I was in pretty much no mood to watch wrestling. So your analysis is going to be a lot better than mine.
Do you want me to explain the build to this match or just the match itself?
Sure, yeah.
So,
I was surprised to see Marty Scurll because I thought he had disappeared. I will say, but I hear that there was like this Villain Incorporated thing earlier in the night, and I was like, "Oh, Marty Scurll is probably involved," but that's a little awkward considering he's probably in AEW, right? And then he shows up and is like, "Oh no, he's there." Okay, well, poor Marty.
Yeah. So, November. No, not November. We gotta go back even further. At some point last year, Matt Taven returns from CMLL, his excursion of becoming CMLL middleweight champion. And he comes back with a purple Jeff... Yeah, he comes back with a purple Jeff Hardy belt and claims he is the real world champion.
What? How? Why?
Because because the Kingdom's weird thing is that everybody is out to get them. And they're stealing R-Truth's ideas. Imagine stealing from R-Truth.
Isn't like most of the Kingdom now in NXT?
The original.
Okay.
This Kingdom is Matt Taven, TK O'Ryan, and Vinny Marseglia. TK O'Ryan is a smaller, big cast-looking fella, and Vinny Marseglia comes to the ring in like a clown mask with an axe and like a red balloon, and he's like a horror movie villain, and he's actually kind of cool, and like I wish he wouldn't be with Matt Taven.
Well, that just reminded me that we skipped over a very important part of the Bully Ray clusterfuck, and that is the debut of two of the biggest stars in all of sports entertainment.
Oh my! How did we miss that?
Because it's fucking stupid, and nobody will ever remember it.
Hit a fuck go back button.
Okay.
So. No, wait, no, that wasn't that match. You're wrong.
It was the Bully Ray clusterfuck, wasn't it?
No, they were in the heavyweight tag. Bully Ray ran out to get involved. We're still safe. Keep moving.
Okay, sure. Go stick with the ladder match.
Okay, so, Matt Taven, he's the real world's champion because he's being conspiracized against or something.
Wait,
so...
Was this before he had the visual pin? Because I heard about the visual pin.
That might have been a part of it. I don't know. I don't know about the visual pin. Okay. So, that would make sense. But for all I know, he just showed back up after not being around for a month and was just like, yep, I'm the champion now. And it's like, no, you're not. That's not how that works.
Now he is. Spoiler.
Why would you say that? I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking up a review and I haven't seen it yet. Actually, no, that's not... Wait, no, that's not crazy. People do that. Oh, God. So anyways, Matt Taven kind of just hangs out the mid-card with his other boys for a long time. He fights Villain Enterprises with Marty for a little bit. And then he finally gets his shot at Jay Lethal. It's time. Not best in the world. Final battle. No. Yes, no.
Final battle is in December, I think.
I don't know if it was December or January. One of the two.
I think best in the world's in like August.
Yeah, no, it's not best in the world.
Okay.
It's either December or January.
Honor Rising? Global Wars?
Not Global Wars, so it's either Honor Rising or Final Battle.
Okay.
Matt Taven and Jay Lethal go Broadway. 60-minute tie. 60-minute tie. And Marty Scurll comes out because he's won survival of the fittest. He's got a championship match. He walks into the ring, grabs the belt from the referee, and leaves. Marty Scurll is now the real world's champion. It's announced that instead of just being Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll, because that makes sense, because Matt Taven did not win. Matt Taven is now in this match, and it's a triple threat. And it's now a ladder match for some reason, because, yeah, okay. And so here we are. Taven versus Lethal versus Scurll. And he does it. Jeff Hardy himself, Matt Taven, climbs to the top rung on his purple fucking ladder. Why? I've rated this match at 2.75 because
would you like to take the opportunity to apologize?
I just went into hysterics at one point. There's so much garbage here. We were a run-in away from me just being like, oh my god, 5. Like, Jay Lethal at one point, they set up like an X with 2 ladders in the ring, and Jay Lethal throws it out of the ring, and it bounces up and hits somebody in the crowd. And the refs run over, and they all tend to this fan. The crowd starts chanting, "That's a lawsuit."
Wait, I missed this. Wait, explain that again.
So he wedges the 2 ladders in between each other, right?
Yeah.
They're like in an X. Jay Lethal can't pull them apart, so he just fucking tosses them on the outside. It bounces and hits a fan. It goes outside and hits a fan. The refs are panicking. Kerry Silken stands up from behind his desk. He's like, ah, ah. The alarms are ringing. He's scared to death. Jay Lethal no-sells and like goes to the other side of the ring and just doesn't look over there. He's like, uh-oh. Like, the fans start chanting, "That's a lawsuit." I can't even explain how special that moment was to me when Jay Lethal murdered a fan. And my favorite part was the dude who got hit. He didn't get hit very hard, but he started selling. Like, he's like, my shoulder, my chest, and my back.
Okay, I also have a question related to this match. So, I don't know if this has already happened or if it was booked for the future, but I know that there was supposed to be an ROH title match between Jay Lethal and David Starr in Israel. Now, I want to know if that hasn't already happened, if now it's going to be Matt Taven versus David Starr in Israel, because that would be a match for the ages.
That would be so monumental because Matt Taven is, of course, the one true child of Christ. And thus, he has given us the greatest championship run already. It's been a couple hours at the most.
It's Old Testament versus New Testament. Newest Testament.
Matt Taven's... I don't know how to describe Matt Taven other than he's not Baron Corbin levels of over with me, where, like, Baron Corbin's amazing. Like, Matt Taven is still awful, and I hate him and everything about him, but that makes it better, that he's so awful, and yet He's literally the third man in the kingdom. It was literally Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, and then I guess Matt Taven was there sometime. And here he is, world champion. Like, there was a thing, I think, that talked about how, like, everybody in Ring of Honor, if you stick around long enough, gets to win the world belt. And I think it's confirmed. You just have to be there for longer than, like, 5 years, and they'll give you that world belt.
Delirious is still waiting for it to be acceptable for him to win it. That's the only... Once he's won it, he's going to step down. He's going to give it to that fan that wins the lawsuit.
I'm so happy that they just put the belt on Matt Taven, so I know full on, full out, no good will ever come from Ring of Honor ever again. That company is dead.
Well,
Thank you, Taven.
You know, if that is Tucker's ringing endorsement of the last match we had on the trash list, that's a good place to wrap up the trash, honestly, and move slightly into the rest of the matches that I didn't think were trash, building up from worst to best. So let's start with the women's match, which I thought tried its damnedest.
Mayu tried real hard.
Yeah. But there's only so much you can do with a certain amount of time and a certain amount of talent.
You don't watch ROH reasonably, and I only tend to watch their events sometimes. It kind of just depends on what mood I'm in on a Friday or Saturday, and if I'm with people over Discord or not. Kelly Klein is the best wrestler in the Women's of Honor division by far.
Wait, do you count Mayu?
No, okay. Not counting her. Because I assume she's just there, and then we'll go back to Japan.
I hope so.
You'd hope.
I hope she stays in Japan and never touch. She has had two
never leave
bad gigs. Bad gigs. Women of Honor, Lucha Underground. Mayu, look. I know it's sad. WWE are never going to sign you. I'm sorry. Out of the 3 daughters, you're not the best wrestler, and you're not the absurdly attractive one. It's just never going to work for you at NXT. I'm sorry. Can you please save Stardom for the next 10 years?
I actually sent to you. I'm like, how sad must it be for Mayu to just watch Kairi and Io have fun in NXT, and then her have this? Like, how does that feel? No, but Mayu does do her damnedest here. Kelly Klein is the best opponent she could have had in this company. So it's not like Delirious didn't try. Wait, he did his best.
Are you absolutely certain that you are very much insulting noted women's legend Velvet Sky?
No, that's her first appearance.
I know, but you know.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. She debuted instantly top of the list.
And was it Madison Rain? Was the other one?
No, Angelina Love.
Angelina Love. Okay, they all blend together for me.
I'll tell the Madison Rain story when we get there.
Was there wait? Is Madison Rain involved?
Involving this finish, there's a big story to tell.
Oh shit! Well, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, just kind of summing it up in general, the Women of Honor is a terrible division that doesn't deserve to exist. I appreciate them trying to put a spotlight on women's wrestling, even just a little bit, but if the talent isn't there, just don't do it. As I look at my past women's divisions.
I think it's worth mentioning that when people clamor for promotions like Evolve and New Japan to have women's divisions, if your heart's not in it, it does no good to women's wrestling. And when already like there are good promotions out there that are doing something like Shimmer or like all the Joshi feds, Shine obviously, but Shine's very weird in terms of distribution. So Shimmer is the better example. Like instead of clamoring for like New Japan and Evolve to have women's divisions, just go and watch Shimmer and Joshi. Make those promotions more popular. Give them your money.
Yeah. So the finish this match, Kelly Klein wins. And
with 2 finishes.
Did she hit 2? I didn't even notice
she hit one, picked her up, and did it again. A little fireman slam. Michinoku driver.
Wow. Anyways, so the match ends, and down the ramp come Velvet Sky, Vel Holler herself, and Angelina fucking Love, which scares me because it means Davey Richards probably is somewhere lurking around like, No,
not Davey Richards, noted Wrestling Observer Newsletter Most Outstanding Award winner 2011.
What a fucking joke that is.
Noted wrestler.
They
inspiration for Red Dragon.
They come down to the ring, get into the ring, and it's not being sexist because it's their gimmick.
Okay.
Wow, Velvet still looks really good. It's their gimmick, buddy.
All right, Dave. All right, Dave.
It's their gimmick, buddy. I'm allowed to say it.
Okay. Hey, look, I spent an inordinate amount of time yesterday talking about Io Shirai's hair, so I can't fault you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyways, Kelly Klein's in the ring, and she going to join with these two we can't use beautiful people, attractive persons?
They said on English columns they called them the beautiful people.
Okay, I didn't watch English comps, so, they just called them the beautiful people. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, they just called them the beautiful people. Also, did anybody actually, look, I know I wasn't in the loop on this, did anybody actually care if she would join?
No.
Okay.
This was never teased. This is the first time they've shown up. They just kind of got in the ring, and people were like, okay, she's going to join them or fight them? So anyways, they get in the ring, and they're staring down, and oh man, it's going to be a fight. And so, noted friend of Kelly Klein, maybe, Mandy Leone, Delirious's girl, climbs in the ring, and oh my god, heel turn. She is the leader of the Allure. The Allure. God damn it. And so they're just doing the beautiful people, but it's Ring of Honor this time, and with Delirious's girl giving him an excuse to put the belt on her.
This is a good time to mention that I feel like the entirety of the ROH side of this card felt a lot like TNA tonight.
Literally, with all the random shit, the swerves, the garbage just happening, the bad luck with the ladder, that's a TNA thing, where just nobody really did anything wrong, but it's just, that would happen. But, okay, the thing that I was going to point out, Madison Rayne had been working for Ring of Honor up until about 2 months ago, when she left to go back to TNA because she wanted to run the beautiful people, and Ring of Honor told her no.
Huh.
Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. My theory is that Delirious heard the idea, liked the idea, told her no, waited for her to leave, and then brought in the other girls and was like, Mandy, go, we'll put the belt on you. Tell me that's not a Delirious move, considering the other moves we've had tonight.
No, it's definitely him. It's definitely him. Lesser Hunter at it again.
The Allure, folks.
Right, well, that's a sad way to start the non-trash portion of the show. Moving up to what I believed was the next best match, the tags. The heavyweight tags.
Yes, I'm same as well. Perfect.
So I guess I'll start on this one because I know some of these tag teams and like some of these tag teams. Sanada and Evil have been a revelation last couple of years. They're not amazing. You're not going to look at them for these world-class all-Japan tag teams, but they work well together. They have a structure, and if you stick a good team next to them, they'll probably have something fun. The Gorillas of Destiny, look, they're not amazing. either, but they do some fun cutters. The Briscoes are really good, but really fucking old. And then I don't know that much about Villain Incorporated, except PCO is fucking insane.
Yes.
So what did you think about this match?
I thought it was like wholesomely average. For a big boys match. PCO spots stole the whole thing, like, very easily.
They're not even the thing I like about the spots is that they're not even like flashy or like exciting. They're just stupid in a way that like Kota Ibushi could only dream of. Because Kota Ibushi has the agility to make some of his spots look somewhat planned. PCO doesn't, so it always looks like he's just killing himself.
He's a stumbly 51-year-old who always like he falls off the top rope and like lands on someone by accident. Like, oh, okay, I guess that worked.
Fucking powerbomb to the outside and be like, he had no protection.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's his gimmick, but I don't know what's wrong with him. Why does he want to die?
I want to die. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually have that much to say about this match, other than what we already said. So I guess we can just move straight along to...
No.
Oh, go on.
Oh, the angle. So, the Gorilla Destiny? Yeah, the Gorilla Destiny. The Gorillas of Destiny. They've done it. They're both IWGP Heavyweight and Ring of Honor Heavyweight Tag Team Champions of the world.
But they're not Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles, because they were on the line in the winner take all.
Not those. Not those. Ignore those. All of a sudden, a fan jumps in the crowd, and my brain says, wait, is that Enzo? What? No. And so, a fan jumps the crowd, very, like, eerily similar to what was seen at the Hall of Fame just like an hour earlier with Bret Hart. Hopefully Bret's okay. He seemed okay.
Well, I sent you a picture of...
I did, yeah. I'm very glad. I'm very glad he got fucked up. Shout out Dash Wilder for that one. He's the one who full on got him. Him and Rhonda's husband.
Sir, his name is Travis Brown, I believe.
I'm sorry, Putty. Us women have had to deal with being the wife of X for the longest time, so he will now be husband of Ronda Rousey. Thank you.
See. Okay, very well. It's like Zack Ryder is now husband of Chelsea Green.
Husband of Chelsea Green.
And so, of course, noted former WWE champion and draw husband of Nikki Bella. Oh, former husband.
Yes.
That
former fiance of Nikki Bella.
Former fiance of Nikki Bella.
Anyways, so this fan and another large fan hop the barricade, and they just start fighting the Briscoes and Brody King, I guess, because PCO was not going to fight them. Bully comes down to even the odds, and they brawl for a little bit until we switch the perspective of the English commentators, and in the background, oh my god, it's Enzo and Cass, and they're like throwing up middle fingers at people, and like, so it's a work, but what a glorious work it is. They had me for a minute where I was like, Enzo, what are you doing? Why are you doing that again? What's going on here? But the moment I saw Cass, I went, oh my god, it's a work. They're geniuses.
You thought this was good.
I really liked the angle. Listen, I didn't say it was good. I'm not like clamoring to see more, but I thought that it was executed pretty well to where I at first thought it was indeed a shoot. Mostly just because, Enzo literally did this a couple months ago, so it isn't too crazy to think he might try to do it again. But the moment I saw Big Cass, I was like, I know Big Cass, personal friend. He's not that stupid. No, mostly just because I realized, wait, no, Big Cass would, like, literally kill half of these people in a shoot fight. How did they not just, like, kill everyone? But what a wild angle. So I assume now that they're going to feud with the Briscoes, even though the Briscoes are heels. So, like...
So I personally thought this was a stupid angle.
Oh, it's really stupid, but it was a well-executed stupid
I don't
angle.
think that either. Because I think if you go this route of being like, oh, it's definitely a shoot by not covering it, you just don't cover it. So nobody gives a shit. Right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, I thought it might be a shoot because they weren't covering it. But because they weren't covering it, like, I don't care. Like, they're not actually promoting anything. 80% of that crowd will never watch an ROH show again. Because it's Mania weekend and New Japan are there. So I think it's not going to matter at all. I think they would have done better if they had just done a traditional wrestling angle. I think fucking indie shows need to stop doing this reality era bullshit because it helps nobody. And yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was bad.
Yeah, that's fair. You want to just move forward then? Leave it at that?
Sure. I mean, that's it. Actually, why don't we leave it on a positive? Why don't you say something else about it that's positive, and then we'll move on. So the next highest match on my end was the juniors tag match. Not the tag match. The juniors triple threat.
Where do I have it? Oh, okay, interesting.
So I thought this was good, but I did feel like it was very much an Act 1. It was like an 8-minute match. And it was a fun 8 minutes, but I don't think they were trying to sprint. I don't think it was action-packed enough to be a complete 8-minute sprint. I think it was definitely Act 1 of a 3-act triple threat junior match in New Japan. And it just kind of ended.
I thought a little bit differently. I felt it was a little bit more complete. I think there were a lot of fun little exchanges in there, even though they were definitely a casualty of time, somehow, even including like a possibly 30-second, possibly like 6-second squash.
It was 30 seconds.
I don't believe it till I read it on Cage Match. Really nice spot with Bandito doing the moonsault body slam type deal. I really liked it quite a lot.
And Dragon Lee winning, I don't know the timetables on everything, but I would assume sets up Dragon Lee versus Hiromu for Dominion.
Yeah, I think everybody is pretty sure of that. Hiromu's been cleared now for quite a bit, so people were thinking possibly tonight, but no dice.
Oh, he was there. Didn't you see him? He attacked Naito after their match, and yeah.
What?
Yeah. Didn't you see? Hiromu attacked Naito after the IC title match.
No, you're working me.
If I
would have noticed that.
If I was working you, I wouldn't cover it. I would just not talk about it, you know? I'm just trying to ignore it.
Oh, you get out of here. I hate you.
But yeah, I mean, anything else to say about the junior match?
No, but the only reason that what you just said worked is because right after that match ended, I went to the washroom. So it could have happened, and I could have completely missed it.
So moving on to the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi match, which sure was a Zack Sabre Jr. and Tanahashi match, wasn't it?
Very, very paint by numbers for these guys. Their formula is their formula.
Yeah, they're both guys that like a formula, and they do change it up a lot, I think, when they're in there against interesting people, but I don't think they're each other's best opponent in the slightest. And
No.
It wasn't a great one. It was nice to see...
Go ahead.
It was nice to see Zach getting his usual hype before the show, though. That's always a highlight.
Yeah, I thought very interesting choice to have Tana lose on like such a big stage in like America.
I think it was more to do with not wanting him to work. I don't think he wants to work Rev Pro dates.
Yeah, that's quite possibly what it is. Well, that probably is what it is.
These two tend to trade losses like over the last few years. Yeah, they have a pretty equal. I think it's 50-50. And Tana just beat Zach in the New Japan Cup like last month.
Right.
Seems like we have very little to say about this match. So let's move on to the main event. Knife Pervert versus Rain Pervert. With Ghetto in the corner.
Oh.
Do you think Ghetto enjoyed having a night off? Or do you think he didn't have a night off? Actually, given the result of this match, I would be surprised if he had the night off.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I like this, actually.
I didn't hate it as much as I think I'm building up. I hated it.
Yeah.
But it definitely went longer than I would have liked it to, especially considering I had just gone through Taven-a-mania. Matamania? I don't even know. But Matt Taven's crowning moment was the emotional apex of this show. And thus, it's like, it's like if Daniel Bryan won a triple threat match at WrestleMania, and then right after you put on, like, John Cena versus,
Ryback.
Sure. That makes sense.
I think Ryback's a good comp for where Jay White is right now.
I would tend to agree with that, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I think going super fucking long is a given when it's Jay White and Okada, and it's not to excuse it. It was really fucking stupid and it dragged and it was awful, but there were bits of it that were really hot. I think Okada was really crisp tonight. I think Okada's had some I'm not the biggest Okada fan, but I even think for his standards, he's been a little off this last kind of 3 years. Or so. I know it's like 3 years or so. But tonight I felt like he was really bringing it again. Like I feel like he was in his Kenny Omega mood. He hit the way he was hitting everything. He was leaving a little bit extra on it. He was getting up high for the drop kicks and really, trying to be the best version of Okada he could possibly be. I don't get Jay White at all. So I don't think he added anything to this match, but I think it was a better than average Kazuchika Okada match. And the thing, I was all like, there was a part of me that was almost ready to really enjoy this, and then we got to kind of the finishing stretch, and I could see that Okada was going through the I do a bunch of counters thing that he's been doing ever since he fought AJ Styles, and they got good, but at the start I was like, oh my god, because they were so sloppy, and Jay White was doing like fucking backslides and shit, and I was like, okay, here we go again. It got better, but it was definitely a match that was trying to make me hate it.
I feel you there a little bit with the ending, but I think that when they did the backslide stuff was oof. But the moment they kind of stopped doing the backslide stuff, especially like the final segment with like doing the Rainmaker, ducking out, going behind, doing the Rainmaker, missing, whatever, ducking behind, out, Switchblade, Rain, Bloodmaker, whatever the fuck Jay White's move is called.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, I was close. Bloodmaker, same thing. I thought it was like really, really crisp.
I thought the tombstone spot was dope.
Oh yeah. That was real proper nice. I think I would agree with what you said. I think those drop kicks, nice. I would say that this most definitely was a match that had Jay White in it, very much as a passenger of Okada.
Yeah, and Okada won again. I think he enters, if he survives Dominion, which God knows who he's facing at Dominion. Who do you think he's facing at Dominion?
Well, let's be honest, right? I know New Japan a little bit, right? Dominion. Is Dominion like bigger, or like?
Yeah, Dominion's definitely the second biggest show of the year.
Ooh, okay.
It has been the last 4 or 5 years.
You need somebody probably who's going in with a bit of momentum. So I could see them going with like, Fale.
What about Naito?
I think you save Naito. I think Naito's winning the G1 this year. I think that the IC title match, which we'll get to, determined who was winning the G1.
Oh, okay. It's the same prediction I have with every title match well, not anymore, but I used to have with every title match in the WWE. And when you go into a G1, if you bet on anyone other than Tanahashi, then I mean it's just unlikely.
they main event with Tana Okada again.
Would you honestly be surprised? Tana literally won it last year. I think this might be the year that Okada wins it as champion.
Oh god, they do that, wouldn't they?
Or Okada loses the belt. I do not. I mean, maybe you're right, but I don't think the Naito plan is a thing. People have been like, oh, they're waiting for the big Naito moment. I don't think so. I don't think they were waiting for anything. I think Omega left.
Shit, who else do we have? Naito could hold it for a minute. Yep. We'll do that. That sounds like a good plan moving forward.
This seems to imply that Naito, if he does win the G1, is beating Okada at the Tokyo Dome, which I also don't see happening at all. Okada has lost two Tokyo Domes now, or at least lost the last one, and there's no way Geto's having him lose again. I think if they're gonna do the Naito thing, it'll be 2021 Tokyo Dome after Okada's reclaimed his throne. After beating probably Tanahashi.
I've never thought about it until really looking at New Japan. Is all wrestling just the same 5 guys fighting each in different orders?
Yes. And the ace always goes over at Tokyo Dome. Except the one time he didn't.
Yeah. How about that IC title match?
Wait, no, I don't think we're done with the.
No, you don't.
I want to get all my frustration out before I gush about the IC title match.
Tell me about Jay White.
Well, I don't. I have a feeling Okada loses at Dominion, but I can't for the life of me think who he's facing. So I think it might be Naito. If you are right that they want to give him the belt for a hot moment, maybe they do it at Dominion, and then Okada wins the G1. And then
I was going to say, do you want to? Do you think they do the inverse? Yeah, like what you just said there. But the only thing that I can't see is why would Naito get a title match? He just lost the IC belt.
Literally, who else is going to get a title match?
Fale, he's right there.
But
he participated in the Battle Royal thing.
But Tana just lost the title match. Will Ospreay just lost the title match. They're not going to do Coda because he's got a title, presumably.
You know who's available?
Who? I guess Switchblade.
Evil?
Nah, they wouldn't do that for Dominion. But, I guess Switchblade.
God, just run a rematch. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Means it's probably happening then.
Yeah. If I hate it, Gato loves it. He's like,
maybe they bring someone in from Noah before the G1.
Joke's on us, Putty. Chris Jericho's back.
Oh, no, I think you're actually right. Wait, no, he's like signed with AEW now, right?
Yeah, he's permanent with AEW. No, you're okay. You're fine. But you know who's probably around?
Who?
Big Cass.
Man, I'm actually semi-excited to see what they do now at Dominion.
I don't know if excited's the right word. I think you're just interested to see what they do.
Yeah, maybe.
Because excited would be anybody they pick will be really good. Like, interested is...
Maybe it's Zach.
It could be, because he's... Like, the RPW belt doesn't fucking count as a belt. It barely exists.
Yeah.
The only... I'm trying to think of, like, who I'm forgetting. Like,
you're forgetting Kenny Omega, but he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's the big hole. Like, I'm like, there's somebody else who's, like, decently built, and they've put some time into him, and...
Maybe Kenny Omega is still there. maybe he is allowed to be there, and maybe he does show up for Dominion.
Could it be... I'm trying to think of what other guys have left WWE. It's Goldust.
So moving on to the IC title belt.
It's Goldust, buddy. Don't run away from that. Accept it. You know, Gato would be all over that.
So, this IC title match was also the fans chanted "fuck Gato" during this match, which is a soundbite I really
multiple times.
Yeah. The IC title match was the only match of the evening that I felt was anywhere near the level of the stuff we saw from NXT the night before.
Yes,
and it was. Look, we said this about a few matches, but it's true on this one as well. It was a Kota Ibushi and a Tetsuya Naito match. But those were very watchable and very fun. Yes. And for some people, they're going to absolutely adore them because, like, they really like the way Kota Ibushi wrestles. I'm not one of those guys, but I still really, really enjoyed this match because I think Tetsuya Naito is a volcano of charisma, and Tetsuya Naito gets better the farther away he is from Hiromu Takahashi. For sure. Like,
yeah.
Naito takes a nosedive anytime he has to share the screen with him. Because like either of them are bad, but because Hiromu is just such a charisma volcano that it just dwarfs Naito considerably. It's why Naito got better when Nakamura left the company, because Nakamura dwarfed Naito in terms of charisma as well, and it just meant that Naito was less unique. And when, we haven't had Hiromu on screen for almost a year now. Oh, also, I want to mention something. I'm going to go back to the world title match real quick. Okada's, down year. He lost the belt less than a year ago, and the guy he lost it to has left the company. And in that time, he's won the belt back. Less than a year. Anyway, going on. This IC title match... It was just really fun. It was really good. It was high-paced. Kota Ibushi's insane. The crowd was super into it. It was the only match that really translated from New Japan over. Like, they had a great G1 20-minute... It felt like 20 minutes. It was probably longer. 20-minute match. That was just really good. It was fun. It was engaging. It's literally the type of match you see from these two at a G1. And that's the biggest compliment I can give it. It was slightly worse, but it was great. You got anything to say about it?
No, mostly the same with you. I love Kota. He's really hard-hitting, but he's, really fast, and he flies really high. He's, everything that wrestling should be. Like you said, Naito is... He oozes charisma. But I do agree with your point also that Hiromu has, without a doubt... hurt Naito's chances at being a really, really big star. And that's just for the reason you said. Hiromu is insane with the charisma that he's able to kind of give off, if that's how charisma is exhibited. Overall, though, a fairly standard bout for these two. But, you know, a standard bout between two good workers is still a good match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's going to be up there for maybe top 5 matches of the weekend, probably for me by the end of it, maybe. Yeah, I didn't hate this show. I just hate the idea.
But you hate this idea.
The show's the best. Because it's not the best. TakeOver was the best.
I'm the best.
I didn't hate this show. But I absolutely 100% would recommend anybody watching, if you haven't seen the show, don't watch the show.
Don't go out of your way.
No.
Unless you were already going to.
There's going to be so many better shows this weekend that I haven't seen. I've only seen 2.5, and I still think this is the least of your priorities if you like wrestling. So go watch the IC title match. There's other stuff I could recommend, but honestly, it doesn't come close to really that. I'd only really recommend picking up the IC title match from this show.
Yeah, I basically entirely agree with that. If you're a fan of the juniors, I would say watch Lee Bandito Ishimori, just because
it's definitely not going to take you too long, at least.
No, it's a quick little thing, but I think it does its job really, really well. There's a lot of fun stuff. The big spot with Bandito is great, and then you just get right to the finish right after. Bit of an underwhelming finish. It kind of just goes, oh, that's it. But I think that's because I think everybody expected a little bit longer on it. Unfortunately, not to be. Maybe watch the Taven Lethal Skrull match if you want to punish yourself, if you're into some Shayna Baszler brand sadism.
Yikes.
Yeah. Don't watch this show.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so before we end, one of the guys that was involved with the production of TNA has a Twitter account, and
oh no,
he just posted a tweet saying ROH had a remarkable platform tonight to show what the company is in a post-elite era, and they have thoroughly given anybody with any sense permission to never watch again and jump to AEW.
I will 1,000% agree with that tweet. If you're seeing what Ring of Honor is doing now and you do not like it, and you were a bigger fan of what they've done kind of previously in this decade, because this is very much a statement of where we're going now, with the Elite like completely gone, Skrull seemingly out the door in just a number of months. Like, this is who we are now. And if you don't like it, you'd probably be better off going to AEW, just because you're probably just going to get more early to mid 2010s Ring of Honor over there.
I think that's a good summary. Thank you all for watching. If you have made it through the 55th annual edition of the podcast, we're going to be back tomorrow at 4 Eastern to preview the after party to the biggest show in sports entertainment. We'll see you then.